due to the Uchiha retaining all their Black Ops missions and their status within the village, Root itself has been pushed back in a sense as a back-rate type of agency, shadow agency of Root itself. It has none of the full power that it does in canon. Its leader Danzo plots and schemes in the background, understanding that 1, he can't move against the Uchiha, 2, his own power is super limited to the fact that he has no real say against this Hokage, and 3, he knows that any form of nefarious stuff that he does will be taken into a hostile or traitorous sense by Hokage Minato and the Uchiha police force. So as Danzo sits and schemes, this is when it comes to light where Konoha is attacked by the Konoha Crush. Now, will Root interfere, or do nothing, or will they take a different approach? We shall see when it comes. Hey guys, I'm Dr. Kyo here and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing a continuation to the what if, and that is what if the Nine Tails attack failed, part 3. So if you guys want to see another version to this, please 50 likes on the video and we'll get it right up the next day, okay guys? Hope you guys are enjoying your weeks, and on that, stay tuned because I'll be making a video this week, a gaming video. It's going to be funny, okay? So stay tuned. But without further ado guys, let's get into the next part of this what if, and that is what if the Nine Tails attack failed, part 3. Now let's begin. Now we're going to do a quick recap on what happened previously guys, and then we're going to jump into this new what if, okay guys? So what happened previously is both Naruto and Sasuke are the finalists in the Tsunade exams. Bear in mind Kabuto pulled out, Temari and Shino took each other out, and so there's only Sasuke and Naruto left. With Sasuke and Naruto fighting as they begin to escalate, Sasuke activates the curse mark to his highest grade level, or curse mark level 3, where he has his wings, and his 3-Tomo Sharingan. Naruto himself allowing the Nine Tails chakra to go over him when he has Nine Tails chakra cloak in the tail. And so as Naruto and Sasuke are battling, they don't notice, but Konoha has been attacked by the Hidden Sand and the Hidden Sound Village working together. The 4th Kazekage and Orochimaru managed to restrain Minato long enough to get into a barrier. And not only that, everything else is going to go relative. Okay? So now that you guys got this brief recap, let's get into this next part. Okay? So let's begin. Sasuke and Naruto both agree that they need to stop their fight for now. That they need to deal with what's happening in front of them. Naruto looks right at Sasuke and goes, "Are you really going to help me though?" And Sasuke looks at Naruto and goes, "You're not dead now, are you?" Naruto gets really irritated at Sasuke. Naruto looks at him and goes, "We were never like this. We were close as friends. We were like brothers." And Sasuke goes, "Ha, brothers." And Sasuke goes, "Hurry up!" Sasuke activates Lightning Chakra and speed blitzes into the village. Begins to start take out Sand Tsunade. Bear in mind, Sasuke is indiscriminately killing them. He's not gonna keep them alive. He's gonna waste them. All his frustrations of not being able to fight Sasuke and Naruto in all this attack. And so as Naruto and Sasuke enter the fray, Naruto with the shadow clones and Sasuke with his own immense power itself, they begin to take out all the Sand Ninja backwards and forth. And as they go through, this is when they see the Ino, Shik, and Choji, or Shikaku, Inuichi, and Choza. When they use their abilities, Naruto's watching like, whoa, that's so cool. And as Konoha Crush commences or continues, Naruto sees the gigantic toad land in the village, taking up those 3-headed snakes. And when Naruto sees this, he goes, "Oh, Jiraiya's there." And so Naruto and Sasuke, they just being there, they help the village dramatically. But this is something that catches Naruto's eye. A massive wind bullet flies at Naruto. Naruto's able to duck and dodge it, and so is Sasuke. But by a couple of clones where Naruto were taken out. As Naruto looks on, he sees a partially transformed Gaara. Gaara looks at Naruto and goes, "You're the one that he wants. You're the one who's driving me crazy." He grabs his partial transformed hand, leans up, and goes to slam Naruto. Naruto sees this, he instantly blinks away, and appears by Gaara and punches Gaara so hard, sends him flying out of the village. And Naruto rushes out to fight Gaara. And as Naruto goes to fight Gaara, Sasuke himself, as I told you, he's indiscriminately killing Sand and Sound Shinobi, left, right, and center. Until Sasuke lands. When Sasuke lands in front of this one person removes his hood and looks at him and goes, "You're the one Lord Orochimaru wants? You're his new vessel? How pathetic. Your weak ass have to rely on that power." Sasuke in this curse mark stage 2 is like, He goes to rush this person and throws a punch, but Sasuke's punch is caught. But it's not caught with ease though. This person's arm breaks, but cracks back into position. And as Sasuke feels it, he gets pushed back, and a curse mark begins to spread across this person's body. And as Sasuke sees this big bone starts to spread out of his arm, Sasuke jumps back and he begins to fly in the air. And what's it called? Kimimari looks at Sasuke and he goes, I would like to see, I'll push you to your limits. I was meant to be Lord Orochimaru's vessel, not you, boom! Jumps up at Sasuke and goes to attack him, but Sasuke immediately kicks Kimimari, understanding that he's not as weak as he shows. And then Sasuke grabs Kimimari and throws him out of the village as fast as he can so he can take the fights elsewhere. And as Sasuke goes to do this, back in the village, the third Hokage is going to town with the Hidden Sand villagers as well. Bear in mind the third Hokage is still there. All the Hidden Sand Shinobi being stopped by Konoha dramatically. The sound are quite organized, and the Hidden Sand are quite organized, but no, not compared to Konoha. Well, as they start to take them out, the third Hokage sees Minato in the barrier. Minato's being locked in there, and he's looking at Orochimaru. Orochimaru goes, "This is going to be easy, and you were the one that meant to replace me." And Minato goes, "Well, I'm glad you're here, Orochimaru. I didn't need to come find you." And it goes, "And you, fourth Kazekage, what do you get out of this?" He begins to crush Minato, and he goes, "You think because you can talk to me, you think you can do this, that you can actually reason with me? You're weak." Boom! Minato disappears out of the gold dust, and they're like, "What the?" They're looking for him. And when the gold dust disappears, they see a kunai on the ground. Minato reappears and grabs that kunai. When he grabs the kunai, Minato's ready this time. He looks at Orochimaru and the fourth Kazekage, and he goes, "Oh well then, if this is a war you like, then you have it." Minato opens his hand and he has a kunai in his hand. When Orochimaru sees this, without hesitating, he tells the Kazekage to keep a gap between them, as he does the reanimation jutsu. As Orochimaru pulls off the reanimation jutsu, Minato sees this, and so he litters the area with hundreds of kunais everywhere. The fourth Kazekage tries to use his own abilities to throw Minato off, try to grab his kunais and make sure he has them. But Minato's quick. He looks very carefully, and he disappears immediately. As Minato disappears, he manages to appear by the fourth Kazekage. The fourth Kazekage tries to attack, but his hand goes nowhere. Minato lands a hit, sends him flying, and as the fourth Kazekage hits the barrier, Minato indiscriminately opens his hands up, piles a massive Rasengan and slams it in his gut. Even though the fourth Kazekage is powerful, man, you're not going to fight Minato. Minato puts a Rasengan in his gut, pretty much slamming him to the wall, incapacitating him immediately. When the third Hokage sees this, he smiles until he sees who comes out of the summonings that Orochimaru does. Orochimaru summons the first and the second Hokage and places contracts within him, and he instantly puts them under control to fight. Minato looks over and goes, Lord First, Lord Second, this has been a dream for me. Minato begins to actually let loose now. He gets to fight his idols. But as Minato's getting ready, what ends up happening is only Orochimaru sees this. An adamantine staff smacks across the people that are holding the barrier, and the barrier comes down. The third Hokage drops by Minato and goes, "Ah, Minato." And Minato's like, "Oh, Lord Third, I'm glad you're here. Aren't you happy to see your predecessors?" And the third Hokage goes, "Yes, these are our predecessors. You know what it is. It's our job to stop them, right, Naruto? Right, Minato?" Minato is right. And as Minato and them begin, Minato goes to take on the second Hokage. Bear in mind, Minato always wanted to take, he want to see us faster. And so as the battle begins, the second Hokage begins to use water style as the first does water style jutsu. But thanks to the third Hokage having Minato helping him, in a sense, the battle is easily pulled apart. And Minato is smart, he knows seals everywhere. And so as Minato jumps between, he fights the second Hokage, and he gets some nostalgia, and he finds it fun fighting someone that has the same jutsu. But when time comes up and Minato pulls a kunai out, puts a ceiling tag in it, and instantly appears behind the second Hokage and stabs him in the back of the head. In doing so, the contract signed that Orochimaru placed on him instantly falls out, and Minato's contract sign itself takes over on the second Hokage. The second Hokage wakes up and goes, "Huh? Where the hell am I? What is this? Who are you?" And as the second Hokage acclimatizes, what ends up happening, he sees the first Hokage attack the third Hokage, and he's like, "Huh? Brother, what are you doing?" The fourth Hokage goes, "Sorry, Lord Second, you were in the reanimation jutsu. That one over there casted it. We don't have much time before that contract within you runs out and he can take control again." He's like, "And you are?" And he goes, "I'm the fourth Hokage." And he smiles. "The fourth, huh? Interesting. Well, you gotta be powerful to be able to take my brother out." Minato goes, "That's alright. Lord Third distracted long enough." Minato pulls out 3 kunais, on each hand. And when the second Hokage sees this, he sees that these are got flying Raijin marks. Minato disappears like lightning and throws them everywhere. And what happens is, Orochimaru sees this, he takes this opportunity to attack the second Hokage, but the second Hokage does a water barrier around him, and Orochimaru gets hit by it, he's like, ugh! He's like, damn! And then the second Hokage does a massive water dragon, and he manages to ensnare Orochimaru and push him back. By this time, the fourth Kazekage is getting up, and he's seeing what's happened. Minato is entering in the fray with the first Hokage, and as the first Hokage tries to do deep forest emergence, Minato is so fast that he slams a Rasengan in his gut. And as the first Hokage gets close to all of Minato's kunai, Minato goes between all of them, makes sure he incapacitates him to the max, to the point where he's able to stop him, throw him on the ground, and put a unbinding contract seal within him too. And as the first Hokage wakes up, he's like, huh? What happened? Where am I? And the second Hokage goes, you just got your ass handed to you by the fourth Hokage. And the first Hokage's like, huh? The fourth? Oh my gosh, are we reanimations really? And the second Hokage is like, yeah, and he goes, I told you shouldn't have made this jutsu. It's stupid. And the second Hokage is like, oh come on, like they start arguing. The third Hokage is like, this is not surprising. Minato's like, and Orochimaru, he manages to get up, and the fourth Kazekage gets up and he tries to do his gold dust ability, but Minato's already got a flying Raijin mark on him. He does a shadow clone, and the shadow clone gets to the fourth Kazekage and puts a kunai to his throat and holds him there. Orochimaru sees that he's on the back foot. Not only does he have the three previous Hokage, but he has the fastest Hokage in the world. Minato right there. And the fourth Kazekage is out of commission. He surrendered immediately the moment Minato put the kunai to his throat. And so as Minato does that, the fourth Kazekage surrenders. Orochimaru gets angry and he does all his worst jutsu he can. He summons millions of snakes to invade. He does all his worst jutsus combined just to even put a space upon him. But Minato's calmly but collectively looking. The second and the first and the third Hokage stay still, take out their snakes. And as they're watching, Minato's like, breathe in, he breathes out, he breathes in, he breathes out, and Orochimaru's just looking, it's like, what is he doing? And then as the pigments above Minato's eye begin to change, Minato opens his eyes and he enters the Sage Mode. Not as good as Naruto's one, but he still enters into Sage Mode. Bear in mind, there's a reason why he's doing this. And as Minato enters into Sage Mode, he speed blitzes Orochimaru. He didn't get a flying Raijin mark on him, and knowing that, Minato does not want to take Orochimaru lightly. And as Minato gets there, he begins to fight Orochimaru. Orochimaru tries his best. He tries his best. He even tries to remote control the snake. And every time his body dies, he jumps out of it straight away, but still Minato's there. He tries his best, but the moment Minato gets a mark upon him, it's over. Minato puts a different type of mark, not just a contract with the flying Raijin mark. He puts a proper sealing jutsu on him, so when Orochimaru tries to jump out of his body, he's able to jump out of the body briefly, or in a sense, but he gets pulled back in, the body recovers, but it's never going to be like how he did while he's in the presence of Minato, while the contract's on. Orochimaru sees this and he's struggling to get up, and as he goes, the rest of the Sound Ninja rush up to attack. They sacrifice their lives to make it to attack, just long enough for Orochimaru to get away. Orochimaru manages to get the seal that locked him in his body. His body was bad, and he managed to turn into a smaller snake and slither away as best he can. And as Minato appears where Orochimaru's withered body is, he's like, he managed to get away this time. Orochimaru's gone. All the Sound Ninja. Sasuke killed a lot of Sound and Sand Ninja, but there's a lot of them left. And as the Konoha Crush pretty much failed in an epic way, Minato is dealing with cleanup within the village until he hears a loud explosion. They all look on, and this is when Kushina rushes to Minato and goes, it's Naruto. I can feel it. And Minato, and they can sense it too. All the Kages, they go, I can sense the Nine Tails. And they look at Kushina, and surprisingly, the first Hokage kind of blushes and has like a crush on Kushina, only due to the fact that his wife was Mikoto. What's it called? She was the Mikoto Uzumaki. She was the Jinchuriki before Kushina. And so as he looks on, it's like, interesting. But when the first and second Hokage sense there's two Nine Tails, they realize, and the first Hokage goes, you split the Nine Tails? And the fourth Hokage goes, yeah, but that was only due to an incident. He goes, hey, not to worry. And then he goes, ho ho, the fourth Hokage! I'm very proud of you. I'm grateful the village is prospering. War or not, this is really great. The second Hokage is like, brother, where are you headed? We just finished coming out of like a former war zone. And speaking of reeling out hidden, when are you going to release this jutsu? Your contract seal has removed his, meaning you do have the power to release us very soon. When are you going to do so? And the fourth Hokage goes, oh, sorry about that. And the first Hokage goes, no, wait. Let me just help out first. And so the first and the second Hokage try their best to help the village out. When they see that the Uchiha are thriving and in the village, happy, helping, like Fugaku appeared right in front of Minato and says, he goes, Lord Hokage, we're wrapping everything up. I still can't seem to find my son. And he goes, Sasuke? And he goes, no. And he goes, Alright then. And when Fugaku sees the Hokages previously prior to him, he bows to them. In respect, the second Hokage looks at him, so interesting. The first Hokage is like, ho ho! My dream of the village is coming true. He's so happy. The Uchiha still live here, I see. I am so proud of you all. Me and Madara's dream, of course, is coming true. The second Hokage is like, idiot. And so Fugaku goes on and does his mission, goes where he needs to do. Minato still contemplates whether he should help Naruto. But this is when Jiraiya comes and he goes, no, leave that kid to learn. He needs to learn. He won't learn at all if you go do all his work for him, right, Minato? Minato's like, oh yeah, true. And this is when Jiraiya sees all the Hokages, they all have their catch up. But as Kushina and them all watch on from a distance, everyone kind of watches on that is not in the battle or not cleaning up the village. Back to where Naruto is. Naruto's in his nine-tail state trying to duck and dodge all of Gaara's sand attacks and everything like that. And what happens is Naruto doesn't realize, but being in the nine-tail state is making Shikaku go crazy. He wants to kill Naruto, he wants to kill the nine-tails while he can. And so what happens is Shikaku convinces Gaara to do the possum jutsu. And he does a possum jutsu and Gaara pretty much falls asleep. Shikaku fully comes out of Gaara. And he's on his massive form and he's like, now it's just you and me, you damn fucks, die! Shoots massive air bullets at Naruto. Naruto's able to dodge like two of them, but the third one hits him with so much force that he hits the ground so hard that his body begins to bleed out. Naruto's standing there, he's like, looking at him, so he goes, he almost dodged it, but he didn't. The Nine-Tails states to Naruto, he means to kill me, the stupid One-Tails. Alright then. He wants to play that game, two can do the same. Naruto's like, what? He goes, yes, Nine-Tails goes, I'm gonna give you some more of my chakra. Don't let it get to your head, figuratively. Do you understand? And Naruto's like, alright, Nine-Tails. And as the Naruto puts his hand in the water in his mindscape, the Nine-Tails chakra floods out and envelops Naruto. But instead of choking him or burning him, Naruto's body immediately changes. He wakes up in the psyche plane. He is already in his four tails, enter into his fifth tails with the nine-tailed skeleton that appears over his body. And as Naruto's on the fifth tails, Shikaku sees this, and he goes, ooh, you're planning to get serious, hey you stupid fox, take this! He shoots another air bullet, but this is when Naruto is ready. He opens his mouth up and shoots a mini Biju bomb and shoots it right at the air bullet, destroying the air bullet. The Biju bomb almost hits Shikaku, but he places his hand up and it blows up right in front of him, pushing Shikaku over. Naruto jumps around the trees and begins to shoot him indiscriminately with multiple Biju bombs. Jumps around the trees, runs at max speed. All they're seeing is a massive red blur everywhere, red streak and multiple explosions. And from Konoha, all they're seeing is big ass explosions from a distance. Sasuke and Kimimura's fight had to stop because of the wake of Naruto and Gaara's fight. Shikaku's tried his best, his body's falling apart from the attack that Naruto's doing, and Naruto still lands in front of him. Shikaku goes, you're not the only one that could do this! He lifts his mouth up and begins to power up a massive Biju bomb, but this is when Kurama goes, that weakling thinks he can try and match our power like that? Alright then Naruto, we'll kick it up a little bit of gear. Naruto goes into a six-tail state. This is when his mind starts to kind of blur out in and out. The Nine-Tails like, focus! Naruto's focusing, his body's starting to tremble, the pain is immense. And as Shikaku powers up a Biju bomb, Naruto uses the six tails plus his own mouth, and they make a smaller version, a bigger version of the Biju bombs he was shooting at Shikaku originally, but a more compressed version. And so once Shikaku was finished, Naruto immediately releases the Biju bomb, and as Shikaku is about to shoot it, he realizes that his Biju bomb didn't get off it before Naruto's, and as he goes to fire it, both Biju bombs collide. Shikaku gets pretty much disseminated, the whole entire area gets obliterated, Naruto gets hit by the wake as well, so badly. Kimimura and Sasuke, even though they were clashing, and they have to compensate for the fight, they get hit by the full wake of the attack as well. And so as Sasuke pulls himself out of the rubble, he's back into his base form, and as you look up, he's bleeding. Gaara's injured. Kimimura injured too, and as they both look over, Naruto himself has just pretty much decimated the One Tails. Naruto's back in his human form, but he gets up, his whole body's like badly injured, and he goes to crawl over to Gaara. He limps over to Gaara, and as he walks over to Gaara, Gaara's like in absolute pain, where he's already woken up. Shikaku's already back within his body. And Gaara's like, what's going on? He's for the first time in years, his mind is quiet. And then Naruto walks over, and he limps over, and Gaara goes, he tries to pull his hand up, and Naruto opens his hand that powers up a Rasengan. When Gaara sees this, he knows that Naruto will kill him with his Rasengan. So as he put his hand up, he drops his hand. He goes, ugh. He breathes out immediately. And Naruto stands there, walks over to Gaara, and he asks, "What's your deal? What the hell was that?" And then Kurama explains everything upon the Nine Tails and all the other tail beasts. Naruto briefly knows about it, but he didn't know that a kid like him would have the same kind of issue. And so Naruto deactivates the Rasengan and begins to talk to him. And much like in canon, Gaara pretty much cries when Naruto talks about that he didn't have it hard. However, people stared at him, people made him feel differently. The only reason why they respected him because he's the son of the Hokage. And Gaara is just absolutely upset. He's actually broken that he's in the state. Naruto helps Gaara up and apologizes. And he goes, "It must have been hard being you, being in a village where people hate you, being a weapon that you can't grow out of." Gaara just looks at Naruto like he's so sad. He's so sad, and Naruto goes, "Don't worry though, we're here, right? Me and you both, what do they call it? Jinchurikis of the Tail Beast, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." And Naruto goes, "Well then, we have to stick together as friends, right? We know each other's pain." Gaara kind of agrees, and Naruto lifts him up and walks him back to the village. What happens when Naruto gets next to the front gate? Minato's already there with all four Hokages are there looking at Naruto as he carries Gaara. And as they look at him, they all kind of press Naruto's like, "Hey, you were their face right there. You're the first The first Hokage, the second Hokage, the third Hokage? What's going on?" Minato kind of laughs at Naruto. And Naruto goes, "What happened anyway?" And he goes, "Don't worry, everything's wrapped up." And so Naruto goes, "And the assailants?" And he goes, "Orochimaru got away. But we have the Kazekage at least anyway, and we can proceed to talk upon the terms upon his surrender, and the Hidden Sand surrender to the Hidden Knife." And so the next few weeks goes about it. Gaara himself, he's changed dramatically. The Hidden Sand come up to the agreement that they will unbiasedly help Konoha, even if it was war. They will agree to be permanent allies with Konoha, and everything that Minato's fine with it. He's not greedy. He doesn't want the Hidden Sand to give this, or that. And so he just tells them he's fine with it. They release the Kazekage. Gaara goes with them too. All the Sand Shinobi go back with them, but it's the Sound Shinobi that stays in Konoha. At this time, Kushina has had enough time to look over the curse mark. Bear in mind that both Sasuke and Kimimaro were fighting, and Kimimaro is back in the village too with Sasuke. Sasuke wakes up in the hospital. Even though he watched Naruto's fight, he was out cold, and so is Kimimaro after the clash, that BG bomb clash anyway. And so Kushina got to look at the curse seal very well, and she goes, "Yeah, all they need is an actual powerful catalyst. She can remove it, but the soul itself, Sasuke, if she doesn't know better, Sasuke has merged his soul with the soul of the curse mark, or his ability with the curse mark itself. So removing the curse mark is impossible. However, removing the influence of the negative influence of the curse mark is within my grasp." And Minato goes, "Alright." And so what happens is, over the next 3 days, Kushina begins to work upon a sealing formula, a very powerful sealing formula for Sasuke, to pretty much bridge or break Orochimaru's control over him, because he's a good kid, not a bad kid, you know. And as Kushina works on this, what ends up happening is Konoha is rebuilding. And as Konoha is rebuilding, two figures are standing on the on the wall. And as these two figures walk over, it's Kisame and Shisui. Kisume's like, "You're back in your village there, master of the Sharingan. What do you think?" And Shisui goes, "They look like they repelled the attack of good. Let's do what we came here to do, and that's that, eh?" And so Kisume goes, "Oh, alright then." And as Shisui and them land, what ends up happening is They walk through the village, and it's all Kakashi that spots them, of course, and everything goes relative. It's actually much worse for Kakashi because Shisui is not only faster than Itachi and more experienced with the Sharingan. His Sharingan is a monster, you know. He can do a Koto Matsukabe and end it immediately. But Shisui being the Akatsuki is a pretty big problem for Konoha, which is something we will address in the future. But as Shisui begins to take on Kakashi, he's nothing. And as Kakashi gets frozen by Shisui's Genjutsu and he's about to, Kisame is about to swing on him, Guy immediately appears and kicks him away. And Kurenai herself managed to get some Uchiha police force members. Shisui himself puts on a mask and they disappear. Kakashi knows exactly what it was, and he himself is trying to recover. Now, when Shisui goes for the village, trying to find them and Kisame, they manage to find Naruto. They managed to see where Naruto is. Naruto himself was visiting Sasuke in the hospital. And as he walked out, this is when the two Akatsuki members, in full daylight, right in front of the hospital, approach Naruto. And they go, "Naruto Uzumaki, you're coming with us." And Naruto looks up, he sees the cloud, the robes, and as he looks up, he's about to look straight into Shisui's eye. But Naruto, out of instinct, he keeps his head down, and he goes, "I'm not coming with you." He turns away, and Kisame goes, "Enough with this, we'll just take this brand and break through this village easy as. Whenever you're ready there, Shisui." And Shisui looks at Naruto and goes, "Naruto Uzumaki, look at me now." Naruto, and as Naruto's about to look at him, what ends up happening is Itachi lands right in front of Naruto, and he instantly jumps with the kunai. Shisui pulls the kunai, and they begin to clash straight away. When Kisame sees this, he's like, "What the?" And he goes to slash at Itachi. Unfortunately for Kisame, he's in the wrong place. Fugaku appears and kicks Kisame straight in the face, and he lands and walks over, and he's like, he goes, "So this is the famed Akatsuki, huh? You're the hidden Mist Shinobi, Kisame Hoshigaki, right?" And then Kisame looks up, he's like, "And you're the boom." Kisame is already placed under a genjutsu by the red-eyed demon of the hidden leaf, Fugaku Uchiha. And as he instantly grabs Kisame tries his best to break out, but he can't fully. And so what he does is he gets Samihara to bite his hand. And as Samihara bites Kisame's hand, he's able to disturb the chakra just enough for him to break out. But this is when Fugaku already launched one huge fireball jutsu to hit Kisame and pushed him away. And as Kisame hits the ground, three Konoha police force shinobi stab Kisame's shoulder, and they hold him there, each of them stabbing him and keeping him in place. The last person of the three puts a knife to Kisame's throat, tells him if he moves, he's dead. Kisame's looking, he can't do nothing. He's like, "What the?" And what happens, as Shisui recovers, he goes, "Long time, old friend." And he goes, "Where have you been?" And he goes, "I will tell you, but unfortunately, if I have to tell you, then I have to kill you." Shisui looks at Itachi, and Itachi has a Sharingan activated and goes, And as what happens is, as Shisui opens his eyes again, he activates the Mangekyo. And when he's about to hit Itachi with the Mangekyo ability, Fugaku appears, grabs Itachi, puts his hand over Itachi's eyes, and spins him around. And as Shisui looks at Fugaku has his Mangekyo Sharingan activated. And as they both stare at each other, Shisui can't get the Koto Matsukabe off, because I suspect Fugaku's Sharingan, because it is said that he can control the Nine Tails with his Mangekyo, easy as. And so as Shisui and Fugaku begin to battle it with the eyes, it's made very apparent that despite Shisui having the most powerful genjutsu, both dojutsus are at relatively the same power level. And this is when Shisui has to bust out his big guns. He pulls out a Susanoo and tries to attack Fugaku. He even uses Scorch style Fire Dragon Jutsu, multiple heads though. The Hydra Fire style or Scorch style Hydra Fire Dragon head. And as hundreds of dragons heads come out, Fugaku immediately activates parts of his Susanoo, only just the ribcage enough, you know. All he's doing is just enough for to get an opening. And as Shisui understands that he does his best, he shoots all these massive Susanoo spikes, and he swipes at the Uchiha that has Kisame. He grabs Kisame, and they begin to rush off. As Fugaku goes to rush at him, what happens is Shisui looks at Itachi and places him under a Genjutsu, a real powerful one, a Mangekyo one. And as Shisui does that, he cries and he leaves the village. And as Fugaku sees that, he turns around. Itachi is traumatized. He's locked in his place. He's on his knees. His eyes are in tears. His Mangekyo is activated fully. And as Itachi sits there looking out to the world, Fugaku says, he can't do nothing. And so he has to go over and he uses his Mangekyo to release Itachi, but Itachi is exhausted and really tired and hits the ground with so much force that, yeah, what ended up happening is the Kisame almost died. And Shisui made his match when it comes to the Sharingan. But now that he knows that Itachi has the Mangekyo, if Fugaku has the Mangekyo, maybe he can kill them or take one of their eyes. But he knows that his job, his mission, is to help the Akatsuki. Whatever the Akatsuki needs, do what the Akatsuki needs. And so, as the storyline goes around, they find out that Shisui Uchiha is in the Akatsuki itself. And this causes a kind of stigma with the Uchiha again. And as many of the factions of the village start to brew and talk about it again, Minato makes it very clear, bear in mind it was Uchiha that stopped the Akatsuki from taking the Jinchuriki, right? And they all stop, they understand. The Uchiha police force are doing their job, they're doing exactly what the Uchiha are meant to be doing. They put them down for something that they are unintentionally doing right. And they all stop and understand, they listen to Minato. Minato is their biggest advocate. But the Minato does state, how did Shisui slip through your fingers? Fugaku goes, he has no idea. He has no idea at all. And as they sit, this is when what's called the third Hokage walks over, explains when they're having a briefing, he goes, where's Danzo? And this hits Minato's mind. Where was Root when Konoha was being attacked? Where were they? Minato goes down into Root, and when they go to find Root, no one's there. Root itself is gone. Nothing but an empty building. And as Minato walks over, he accidentally sets off a ceiling jutsu that is about to blow up the entire confines of the room. And as Minato sees this, he instantly teleports out of it, and the root base itself explodes, destroying itself, crumbling upon itself, leaving no evidence whatsoever. Root itself has fully abandoned the hidden leaf, and all the root shinobi that are within it have become rogue ninjas. Danzo himself is number one, absolutely. And so as Minato and Hidden Leaf begins to try to work on it, Kushina has finally finished. It took a while, but she finally finished the jutsu to remove Orochimaru's control over Sasuke. But leave the power there because Kushina can't technically remove the soul. However, she can remove the control of the seal that makes Sasuke the way he is and give Sasuke full access to it. Fugaku is really grateful for that, and as Kushina begins to do it, she learns a lot about the curse mark and the benefits of it. You know, she learns a lot about it. And so, as Kushina begins to do it, it takes a couple of hours. She puts the scroll in front of Sasuke, and the scroll begins to make signs on the ground. Candles explode on fire, and Sasuke begins to burn immediately. And as Sasuke's body begins to burn, he goes through his transformations of curse mark level 1 and level 2 continuously. The Sharingan activated on, and he has to sit there in place. Bear in mind, the ceiling formula is also like a light barrier, so it's holding him in place also. And so Sasuke is just on the back. He's just going through the worst pain imaginable. And after a few hours, Sasuke himself instantly falls down. When Mikoto and everyone sees this, Sasuke gets up and goes, where am I? What the hell's going on? Sasuke gets up and goes, all I remember was his voice. Sasuke wipes his head. Well, I don't even know what happened yesterday. What happened today? Like, why is everyone looking at me? Sasuke's like really freaking out. Kushina smiles and she gives Sasuke a hug. She goes, it's alright, young one. You're safe. You're back now. Mikoto also walks over to Sasuke and gives him a hug. And she, what's it called? Yeah, she also does. And so as Sasuke recovers, he explains everything, the ordeal. He had this man feeling like he was trapped in his mind and this being was controlling his body. And Kushina goes, that was Orochimaru's spirit towards your body actually absorbed and connected with. However, I managed to isolate and remove that consciousness. You retain all the powers, just none of the weaknesses that you had prior. Sasuke thanks Kushina. He thanks her a lot. And what happens is Sasuke manages to, use the curse mark to activate, to heal himself from the injuries that were just sustained, I guess. And then Sasuke himself is just, he's all bewildered, he's all just befuddled, he's confused and everything like that. Now when everyone gets brought up to speed when it comes to Shisui, this is when Konoha itself starts to become more wise and understanding. People like Shisui are part of the village, the barrier itself will recognize them and won't attack them. And so what happens from here is the village starts to progress much the same. They need a medical ninja to heal all the wounded, and this is when Jiraiya states that he knows of someone. What's it called? What's her name? Tsunade. My bad. Sorry, I got confused. I got Tsunade and Kushina mixed up. My bad. Minato brings up Tsunade, and the third Hokage goes, "She'll never come back to the Hidden Leaf." And then Minato steps in and goes, "She would if there was a price." And then he opens his eyes and goes, "You're very, very smart there, Minato." And so what ends up going down? So as everyone agrees that they need Tsunade to help heal the villagers and help bring things right, Minato sets up Jiraiya to go and get Tsunade. And as Naruto finds out Jiraiya is leaving the village to go do a mission in a sense, Naruto puts his hand up, "I'm coming!" And so from there, Naruto goes with Jiraiya to find Tsunade like in canon. And just like in canon, Tsunade still hates the Hokage in all that regards. And she hates the fact when it comes to them. However, hearing the deal that Jiraiya makes with her, telling her that if she does come back, then it's money for her in a sense, and she agrees to it. She goes, "Sweet ass, my debts are going to get paid, all good." And so Tsunade jumps on board, goes back to Konoha with Jiraiya and Naruto. Not before Naruto testing Tsunade, because he knows who Tsunade is, and he knows that she deserves respect, and he can't really disrespect women because his mum will slap him hard. Naruto himself just asks Tsunade for a quick sparring match to see where he stands against her. She kind of laughs at the idea, but she alright then tells Naruto to come at her with everything he got. Naruto smiles, takes the weight belts off and disappears. Tsunade says, "Huh?" Boom, Naruto appears right in front of her with the kunai at his throat. At her throat standing right in front of her, she wasn't even able to move when she sees Naruto. Naruto has the kunai to her throat and he goes, "And this is what every Hokage could have easily done to you. So are they really dumb? Are they really messed up? Or they got a more important job to do than waste their lives and money on nothing?" Tsunade looks at Naruto and realizes that this kid could have killed her, and she didn't even see it coming. And so it humbles her to know that what Naruto did to her. And so as they all go back to the Hidden Leaf village, Tsunade and Jiraiya talk, and they have a really great catch up. Tsunade comes back to the village and begins to heal everyone that was injured in the attacks, even Rock Lee, everyone. She begins to train better medical ninja and everything, and that's where things go relative. Now Sasuke is when he's fully awake now. Okay, I'm gonna say a couple of days have gone by. Sasuke, when he's fully awake, he's different. He's gone back to being Sasuke again. However, that absence of Orochimaru actually makes Sasuke not scared, but yearn for that power again, yearn for that being controlled again. Because in that regards, Sasuke himself was powerful, had none of the weaknesses. And so Sasuke, even though he's recovered in the Hidden Leaf, understanding that Naruto's doing all this stuff good and bad, blah 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 blah, Sasuke himself is yearning for more power. And despite the absence, he's dramatically different, regardless of what Kushina did. And so as Sasuke for the next couple of days begins to ponder on it and practice his abilities, he's approached by the 4 Sound Ninja, but instead of them attacking him, they talk to him clearly and tells them that once you're ready, that they'll be ready to pick him up and we can take you to Orochimaru and he can help you. Sasuke at first is kind of irritated, but he gets over it and he agrees. He goes, he will have to go with them now. And so the Sound 4 are quite surprised and he rushes out with him. Now when they get out of the gates at the village gate, people try to stop them, but Sasuke just genjutsus them both and they hit the ground. And so as Sasuke leaves the village with the Sound 4, it's made apparent to the Hidden Leaf that some incursion happened to the Hidden Leaf. Everyone, all the Uchiha police force and all the Ombi members try to find out, but they slowly find out that Sasuke Uchiha had left the village. And when they look upon, they're quite confused, you know? They're quite confused and stunned. And so quickly another team has been made and ready to at least, be ready to take Sasuke or bring him back. But what ends up going down is Naruto is immediately placed on the team. He's placed with Kakashi at junior level. Naruto is placed on the team, so Sakura. But then this is what Fugaku states, this is an Uchiha matter. Let me deal with it my way. And then Naruto goes, no, this is a Hidden Leaf matter, not just an Uchiha matter. I'm Uzumaki and I also have the same anger. And then what happens is Fugaku looks at Naruto and understands that no, what Naruto said wasn't wrong. What Naruto said wasn't wrong at all. And so what ends up going down is So as the team is assembled after their brief conversation, Kakashi with Sakura and Naruto head out. They have some more people ready. What happens is Itachi lands and he tells him he's coming as well. And Naruto smiles. Sakura kind of blushes and looks at Itachi and Itachi's like, huh. And so they immediately head off to find where Sasuke is. And as they go and they track him, they proceed to get pretty far until they're actually stopped by the Sound 4. The Sound 4, without even hesitating, activate the curse marks on their bodies. Bear in mind, these curse marks are relative to like how Sasuke's curse mark is much stronger. And so as this begins, Naruto goes, I have no damn time for this! Naruto activates the Manto's chakra, he takes off his weight belts and he disappears immediately. He rushes. Kakashi says, no Naruto, we need to stay together. Itachi. Itachi's like, And he goes, just like old times, right? Itachi smiles, yeah. Kakashi activates his Sharingan and looks right at them. And both Itachi and what's good and Kakashi take out the Sound 4 without even trying. And as they try to get up, Sakura becoming more useful. Sorry, it was very difficult for me to say useful instead of useless. But as now she's starting to become more useful, Sakura does a massive water style jutsu that will actually throw him down and hold them in their place and locking them up. And then what happens is, as she does so, she does earth style to also lock them in place. So with the Sound 4 gone and neutralized, Kakashi and Itachi rush after Naruto. And as they get close, what ends up happening is Kimamaru's there. He stands there, pulls his bones out and starts to wreak havoc against Itachi and Kakashi, and it actually takes them off guard. And as Kimamaru's doing that, what goes down is Naruto is looking. Naruto is looking for him. And as Naruto is rushing through the area, he manages to see the Hashirama statue, and Naruto runs and jumps on it, and as he jumps, he looks down, and then he instantly feels it, looks up. Sasuke has already thrown a kunai at Naruto, and Naruto's caught the kunai. And Sasuke goes, finally, you're not going to hide how you've always been pretending, right? Naruto goes, pretending? And he goes, you're so much stronger than what you are right now, Naruto, don't lie. I watched you take on that gigantic sand beast creature, and you took it out massively. Naruto goes, I got hurt in the blast. So Sasuke goes, it doesn't matter. I've seen how powerful you become, and you left me behind. I don't have that power, Naruto. I'm not a Jinchuriki. And Naruto and Sasuke look at each other. Naruto states to him that this is wrong what he's doing. It's wrong what he's doing and he should come back to the village. And Sasuke goes, not from my perspective, no. And he goes, I thought my mom took care of your issue. And what happens is Naruto's standing there, of course. But Sasuke is not having it at all. Sasuke looks at Naruto and goes, we're going to pick up where we left off, Naruto. Naruto's what? Sasuke puts his headband on, ties it up. And Sasuke activates the Curse Mark stage 2. And he goes, me and you, right now, to the death. You win, you either kill me or bring me back. If I win, I will kill you on the spot. Naruto's like, is that so? And Sasuke goes, yeah. And Naruto says, alright then. Naruto instantly goes, he goes, Ninetales. Naruto looks at Naruto and smiles. Naruto closes his eyes and the Ninetales chakra just explodes out of him, making a massive shockwave. And as Naruto goes from his 4th to the 5th to the 6th tails, Naruto bends over fully, being more crazed and evil. When Sasuke sees this, it's just, unfortunate for him, he can't be a cool guy at all. Not so ever right away. But what happens regardless though, Sasuke gains his composure, shoots a fireball jutsu at Naruto just to test it. Naruto's able to catch it with his hand and dispel it. And Sasuke's like, wow, alright then. Naruto instantly rushes at Sasuke, but Sasuke manages to jump away. And jumping away, Sasuke himself, he's thrown back by how different the battle is. These guys are much more stronger than they last fought each other. They can destroy everything. And so when they're battling, they're like what's it called? Purpley, black, and blue, and reddish energies bouncing backwards and forth to the point where both Naruto and Sasuke land a clean hit on each other, stopping them on both of their tracks. And as they hit the ground, they look at it. Sasuke's like, he's quite impressed with Naruto's power. Sasuke activates the Curse Mark more to the point where he at least can be stronger than Naruto. But Naruto gets up, the Ninetales goes, you have this. Naruto massively rushes and so does Sasuke. Sasuke does the same thing, he puts his hand under and he punches Naruto in the gut. But as he punches Naruto in the gut, Naruto uses momentum to hit Sasuke in the head. And hitting Sasuke in the head, it actually made Sasuke bleed and it's made them both fly away from each other. Naruto's like, oh damn, better not do that. Both Naruto and Sasuke recover from the situation that placed them, but Naruto himself knows that he has to retract the majority of his strength just in case he kills Sasuke, and Sasuke himself has to hurry up and make himself stronger to keep up with Naruto just in case he doesn't get killed by Naruto. And so as Sasuke gets up, he releases all his energy, everything he does, he even gives himself back to Orochimaru's control. He tells him, to hell with what your mother and your father did to me. The village is my enemy, and so are you, Naruto. And as Sasuke begins to emanate more energy, Naruto goes to throw a punch, where Sasuke stabs his hand into Naruto's shoulder, like a similar lightning blade, and as he slams his hand into Naruto, he begins to dig it deeper, making Naruto scream. And then Sasuke smiles and goes, your daddy and mommy are not going to visit you. And as Sasuke smiles, Naruto gets really angry indeed, and Nine-Tails chakra explodes at him in a different way than what he's normally used to. What he's normally used to in general. Now what happens is Naruto is way more stronger. He's over it. He's just going to push himself more and more now. And pretty much as they both begin to clash, they destroy the entire area, both Sasuke and Naruto. Sasuke realizes that Naruto himself has way more chakra than him, and if he doesn't end the fight now, Naruto will survive him and pretty much beat him. And so Sasuke puts everything he has to his last lightning blade. He tells Naruto, this is it. This is my final attack. I put everything in this attack, and if I win, well, you'll be dead. And if I lose, then I might as well be dead. Sasuke and Naruto brush each other. Naruto with the Rasengan, Sasuke with the full power, I guess, his own abilities, full power Jodori. And as they both clash, pretty similar to Canon, the mass energy explodes, destroying the entire area. Naruto gets a piece of Hashirama statue collapses on Naruto, but it's not hard for him to get out. He just collapses on him. Sasuke himself crawls out of the sand or the earth itself, and as he crawls himself up, he begins to walk away. Naruto walks over. Sasuke, as he sees Naruto trapped under a rock, Sasuke goes over to Naruto, holds himself. Yeah, I can kill you right now. And Naruto goes, but you wouldn't because we're friends, right? Sasuke looks at Naruto and punches him straight in the face. And Sasuke leaves immediately. As he rushes on, Naruto notices Kabuto waiting in the forest. And as Kabuto and Sasuke disappear, this is when Jiraiya returns back into the village. And what I mean by the Jiraiya back into the village, where he predetermines what he's going to do, stay in the village or go away for the next few years. And so that's up in the wall. What happens by the time Naruto comes back to the village, he tells everyone what's happening and his determination to go to get Sasuke. And as Naruto is trying to climb himself up and prepare himself up, Fugaku himself apologizes for the mess that the Uchiha pretty much making Sasuke himself and Shisui. But Minato tells him it's alright, he can't help everything. People are people, regardless of their choices. It's their jobs to get to work together to get them back. Yeah? Fugaku smiles. And Naruto sees this, he apologizes too for not bringing back Sasuke, but Fugaku walks over to Naruto and goes, technically it's not your job, but I appreciate you doing your best to try to help my son. Thank you, Naruto. Naruto bows to Fugaku, and as Naruto does that, Jiraiya walks in and goes, I knew I'd find you, kid. Hey there, Minato. Minato goes, Lord Jiraiya, and he goes, well, I'm out. Naruto's like, what? You're out? And he goes, yeah, well, I said my purpose, I guess. I'm gonna travel the world and do what I'm meant to be doing. Naruto's like, but I want to do some training, and Dad sucks. Dad stays in the village all the time and does this and that. He doesn't actually help me. And Minato's like, yeah, you understand this, kid. But what ends up going down is, Jiraiya goes, well, if you want to train, then you might as well come with me, Naruto. And Naruto's like, what? Come on with you? Really? And he goes, yeah, well, we're going to be away for 2 years, though. That's the only problem. Are you man enough to handle that, Naruto? And Naruto's looking down, like, with a red face. Is my jacket and everything good? And so Naruto gets over himself. It's more the hurdle isn't how Naruto going to tell his mum. And so Naruto absolutely agrees to go with Jiraiya. He absolutely agrees to go with Jiraiya. Minato's fine with that, because, well, they got another Jinchuriki in the village anyway, and knowing that Jiraiya is capable. Sakura herself, she pretty much herself came to the realization that she needs to learn, become stronger, so she trains with Tsunade earlier time. So by the time Naruto leaves the village, Sakura's already training with Sakura's already training herself, so not to be useless with Tsunade. Naruto heads off to train with Jiraiya, and Sasuke goes to train with Orochimaru. And this is where things dramatically change. When Sasuke trains with Orochimaru, Sasuke demands Orochimaru to upgrade his body to the max. And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, merge other abilities with me, can you do that? And Orochimaru kind of smiles and goes, yes, I can. and Sasuke finally agrees. And so Orochimaru, he puts Sasuke in the form of a tank where he's been processed, I guess. And what Danzo does, he has the 3D printer ready, all their stuff. Here's Danzo. As Orochimaru, looks at it, he has all the stuff he needs to do everything for Sasuke, to make it much more better, make everything better for him. And so as Sasuke is retrieving his necessary upgrades to even match Naruto, and Orochimaru finds it happy because his host is willing to get stronger for him in a sense. And so as Sasuke does this, what ends up happening is Orochimaru hears in the corner, he goes, well, that didn't go well for us, did that, there, Lord Orochimaru. Orochimaru looks over and sees Danzo himself. Danzo and all of Root have fled from Root, and they are now in this Hidden Sound Village. Bear in mind, a lot of the Sound Village shinobi are within the Hidden Leaf Soldier prison, so yeah, the Hidden Sound needed their numbers replenished. And so Danzo stands there talking, and he goes, quite interesting how you doing this. You can just take his body now. And Danzo goes, I can. I know Orochimaru goes, I can, but we're not right there yet. Orochimaru pulls out his pocket and he goes, here's 2 extra eyes. And Orochimaru's like, and Danzo's like, how did you get these? And he goes, never mind. And so yeah, as Sasuke and everyone's re-climatizing with their situations within the Hidden Sound, Root settles in and gets all their curse marks. Danzo himself merges more with Orochimaru's science and everything. Kabuto doesn't like it, but he just deals with it, And so Root fully is emerged within Orochimaru's base. Orochimaru at first doesn't want to, but Danzo states he'll become the Kage of the Hidden Sound. Orochimaru's like, he goes, shows you to be the egotistical one out of us, right? And Danzo's like, looks at him. And so as their situation's going on, and this is going to be there for the next 2 years, or until the Shippuden starts. Back with Naruto, when he begins his journey with Jiraiya himself talks to Naruto upon what he needs to do to master the Nine Tails. Not only that, to master all the skills. And Naruto goes, yeah. He goes, what's that skill my dad knows? And he goes, what's that? He goes, Sage Mode. And he goes, oh, Sage Mode, that's a very dangerous jutsu. Correctly mastered, of course, you can become one of the most powerful beings in the village. Who knows, maybe the world. Naruto goes, that's what I need to train with. Please, Jiraiya Sensei, please. Let's do Sage Mode. Jiraiya goes, it's going to be hard, Naruto. You must understand, it's going to be really hard. And so what happens is Naruto's like, sweet as, he don't care. And so for the next 2 years, Jiraiya, Naruto, Orochimaru, Sasuke, Tsunade and Sakura, they begin all their trainings and begin all their methods to pass. And then 2 years to 2.5 years past, Naruto and Jiraiya stand in front of the village, and as they stand in front of the village, Naruto goes, this is so nostalgic. It's been so long since we've been home that I missed it, And Jiraiya smiles. He goes, you've become a lot wiser since you've been gone, Naruto. Don't worry. And as Naruto walks over, he sees Sakura with a tuning exam vest on. He goes, you got a vest? A tuning vest? And she goes, yeah. Naruto goes, but where's mine? And she goes, well, you didn't finish the tuning exam. Naruto goes, technically I did. And Naruto gets angry, goes, you know what, I'm gonna go see my dad. Naruto looks at him and Sakura's like, oh, no. He hasn't changed one bit. And as Naruto begins to walk up, or Naruto, what's it called? He gets there, and he eventually berates his dad. He sees his dad talking to, what's it called, Shikamaru and Tamari. And when they're finished, Naruto goes, yo, Dad. And Minato goes, Naruto, long time no see. Welcome back to the village, my son. And Naruto lets Minato have it, It digs deep into him. Why does Sakura have a tuning exam face? Why don't I have one? Blah, blah, blah. And Minato stops Naruto right there and goes, we were going to wait to surprise you when you go home today, Naruto, that you're going to be an honor of actual tuning. But since your attitude like this, I'm guessing I have to do it now. Naruto's like, what? Okay. And so Naruto gets his vest, his tuning vest, towards he doesn't actually wear it, pointless. And Naruto himself is now full tuning. And so as Naruto is back in the village, Minato goes, I hear Lord Jiraiya stated that you've done a lot of fruitful training. How were the slugs, Naruto? Naruto's eyes instantly go weird. This thing goes over his face and goes, yes, they were yummy, Dad. They were very yummy. And Minato smiles and goes, well, before I dispense your, after I dispense your mission, Naruto, me and your mother were thinking about taking you to Ichiraku. You game? And Naruto's like, I'm so game! So after Minato catches up with Naruto, Sakura comes in, and this is where the same thing as Tsunade does with in canon. Minato goes, it's been a while since Team 7 has been established, and not only that, we've been keeping the shinobi home rested for a while. And Naruto walks out, he sees Kakashi, gives Kakashi the same makeout tactic book, but this time this Naruto has read the entire book, you know, so he knows everything is about to happen. Kakashi thanks Naruto, he says welcome back to all of them, that they're all growing stronger, and like that Kakashi disappears. Now what happens is, that night, Naruto goes home and he sees his mother, she screams at happiness to see her boy, she gives him a hug, she looks at him, and she goes, you haven't picked up any of his tendencies, have you, Naruto? And Naruto goes, no, not at all, mother, no, and she goes, you better not. With the Nine Tails energy flaring over her head, Naruto's like, whoa. And so from here they go to Ichiraku and they have a massive feed, and they discuss how things are going to go. Naruto states he's excited to be back to the village, and he's grateful that he's become so strong in the fact that he's able to, he feels confident enough knowing that he can take on this new powerful Sasuke and Orochimaru. And this is when Naruto goes, but one thing, Mom, I got one question. And she goes, yeah, and she goes, I would like to learn and train more with the Nine Tails Fox if I can. You're the only person I can really do it with, you know, where I can feel safe. And Minato smiles, and she goes, well, of course, Naruto, I'm the greatest sailing master in the village. Your father may try to debate that, but I'm the Uzumaki, not him. And Minato's like, what? And so from there, Naruto and them just talk, and they rest up, they go home and have a good catch up. And this is when it comes to the next day, when they meet at the training grounds. Kakashi's there this time much more earlier than them. Naruto and Sakura land. And as Naruto stands there, Kakashi smiles and goes, wow, look at you two. He goes, I'm not the kids that I remember. And they both smile. Sakura, bear in mind this Sakura has trained longer and she's already got 100 healings on her mark on her head. She's way more determined, she's more powerful. And as she puts her gloves on, she smiles, she goes, this is going to be great, Naruto, what do you think? And Naruto goes, yeah, this is. And Naruto removes these new type of weight belts. Sakura's like, what are those? Naruto chucks the weight belts. They hit the ground and they explode. Naruto goes, that was the last time I ever wear those things ever again. And as Naruto jumps, he feels the lightest he's ever been in a while. And as both Sakura and Naruto ready themselves to fight Kakashi, this is where I'll leave this one, guys. I hope you guys like this. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and yeah, if you guys want to see another part of this, guys, 50 likes, guys, and I'll make another one right away. And that, guys, stay tuned for my new video that I'm going to bring out hopefully this week, Friday. It's a Minecraft one, and I hope you guys enjoy. But as usual, guys, this is Dr. Kahu saying peace.